Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever found yourself, scrolling online or maybe walking down a store aisle and just wondering about all those pills or powders?
Yeah.
The ones promising to keep your joints moving smoothly and your bones feeling strong?
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge and honestly, sometimes pretty confusing world, this bone and joint health supplements market.
It really is.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into that exact market.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here isn't just the size of it, though that's impressive enough. It's how quickly this whole segment of the health industry is changing. It's really evolving.
That speed is definitely noticeable.
It's a very dynamic space.
Yeah.
And understanding why it's growing so fast and, who it's really impacting, what's driving it, well, that feels more crucial than ever right now.
Absolutely. So our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut, a way to understand this booming market. We'll dig into the growth stats, which are pretty impressive, the core reasons behind it all, what products are popular, who's actually buying this stuff.
And the important considerations, too.
Exactly. And maybe most critically, what you as a consumer really need to think about. And just so you know, all our insights today are drawn from a recent, pretty comprehensive market analysis by Cognitive Market Research.
Good stuff.
Okay, so to really get a handle on just how big this thing is, we kind of have to start with the numbers, the raw data.
Right.
And honestly, the numbers themselves tell an incredible story of growth. According to that research, this market was already valued at, get this, USD 12,542.5 million.
Wow, already over 12.5 billion in 2024.
In 2024. And it's projected to, well, almost double. They're forecasting it to rocket up to USD 24,808.9 million by 2032.
That's huge.
It is. That's a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of nearly 9%. 8.90%,
Yeah.
exact, which basically means this market is set to just explode in less than a decade.
And it's tempting to just say, oh, it's an aging population, right? And, well, an aging population worldwide is definitely part of the picture.
Sure, that makes sense.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, this massive expansion is really fueled by something broader. It's a shift in, overall health consciousness.
Okay.
People aren't just waiting to treat problems anymore. They're actively looking for preventative measures, ways to keep their vitality, their quality of life going for longer.
Right, being proactive.
Exactly. And then unfortunately, there's also the rise in bone-related issues, things like osteoporosis, different kinds of arthritis, and just, widespread joint pain.
Yeah.
That's pushing demand too. So these supplements, they're increasingly seen not just as a remedy after the fact, but as these proactive tools for staying well long term.
That proactive angle really clicks. So
Okay.
at their core, what are these supplements actually supposed to do?
Yeah.
And what are the common ingredients people might see on the labels?
Well, basically, they're designed to do a few key things. Support bone density, help with joint mobility, and generally just bolster your overall skeletal health. And the source material, that Cognitive Market Research report, it highlights the usual suspects you'll see again and again: calcium, collagen, glucosamine, chondroitin, and vitamin D.
Ah, the classics.
Yeah, those are pretty much the foundational building blocks that a lot of these formulas use to try and, achieve those health goals.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting, I think. You might naturally assume, right, that these supplements are mainly for, well, older folks.
That's the common perception.
Yeah, but that assumption, it's actually getting turned on its head by what the market data is showing. We're seeing a really significant uptake among younger people, especially those who are into fitness, athletes. So what's the key insight there? Are they just hopping on trends, or is something deeper going on with how different generations view prevention?
That's a really crucial point, and it does point to a broader cultural shift, I think. Younger groups, yeah, especially the active ones in fitness and sports, they are incorporating these, but often not for a current problem.
Yeah.
It's more like a long-term prevention strategy. They're sort of investing in their future mobility, trying to head off issues down the road.
Investing in future you.
Kind of, yeah. And naturally, this shift in who is buying is also pushing product innovation and changing what consumers prefer.
How so?
Well, you're seeing a much wider range of product forms now: capsules, powders, chewables, gummies. Something for every lifestyle, really.
Right. Convenience matters.
Definitely. And manufacturers are also working on the formulations themselves. They're focusing on better bioavailability, just how efficiently your body can actually absorb and use the ingredients.
Sure.
Getting more bang for your buck from each dose, basically.
Gotcha. More effective.
Yeah. And also, very importantly, there's this big shift towards plant-based and organic ingredients
Yeah.
that mirrors, the wider consumer trend towards natural and sustainable stuff.
That focus on bioavailability is smart, making sure your body can actually use what you're taking. We're also seeing some really specific trends pop up, like personalized nutrition. That sounds amazing. But is there a risk of overpromising? Or are we seeing real science backing up these tailored approaches?
Yeah, personalized nutrition is definitely a hot area.
Well,
It uses biotech, data analysis, all that, to offer supplements tailored to an individual. Now, the science is still evolving rapidly,
okay.
but the promise of it, better results, more customer loyalty, that's a huge driver for companies. Beyond that, though, some other big trends, collagen products are massive.
Oh, yeah. Collagen's everywhere.
Everywhere, especially popular with women, known for helping with joint lubrication, scale elasticity, overall integrity. And then you've got the botanicals. Don't forget those.
Like turmeric.
Exactly, like turmeric and Boswellia serrata. People are really seeking those out for their anti-inflammatory benefits, pain relief properties, natural options.
It sounds like a really crowded space, though. So
Mhm.
many options. How are people even figuring out what to choose?
That's a good question. And, something else that's massively impacting the market growth is e-commerce.
Online shopping.
Yeah. Online platforms offer, well, incredible convenience, obviously, but also tons of detailed product info and, crucially, customer reviews. That builds trust.
Reviews are huge.
They really are. Plus, you're seeing more subscription models online that encourages repeat buys and just makes these products way more accessible to way more people. It expands the reach significantly.
Okay, so with all this growth happening everywhere, what does this all mean geographically? Where is this market concentrated?
Good question.
The distribution shows some clear leaders. North America is really out front in 2024, holding about 40% of the market share.
40%? Wow.
Yeah. Europe's not too far behind. They've got about 30%. But the one to watch, apparently, is Asia Pacific. It's projected to have the highest growth rate, over 7% CAGR between 2024 and 2030.
Interesting. And that regional dominance, it's usually not random, right? There are reasons behind it.
So what drives it?
Well, North America's lead makes sense. They have a very well-established dietary supplements industry, plus generally high healthcare awareness. Consumers there are often more proactive, and the marketing is just, well, everywhere.
Sure.
Europe has strong healthcare systems too, and there's often a strong preference for natural products there, which fits with some of these trends.
Right.
And Asia Pacific.
Hmm.
That rapid growth is fueled by things like urbanization, rising incomes, especially in places like China, Japan, India, plus growing health consciousness. And sometimes government initiatives or addressing common deficiencies like calcium and vitamin D play a role too.
So different factors in different places, but all leading to growth.
Pretty much.
Now, with this kind of explosive growth, it's probably no surprise that this market is also, a real battleground. Fierce competition.
Oh, definitely.
Who are the big players staking their claim here, and what are they doing to stay ahead?
Yeah, it's highly competitive. You've got some major household names involved. Bayer AG, for example, they held about 15% market share in 2024.
15%, that's significant.
It is. Then Procter & Gamble had around 12%, and Amway was at 10%. These big companies, they're pouring money into R&D, research and development, trying to make their products better, more effective, more bioavailable.
Makes sense.
And you also see a lot of strategic moves, collaborations, companies buying other companies, partnerships. They're all trying to expand their product lines and their global footprint. It's definitely a dynamic race.
And how does this specific segment, bone and joint health, fit into the overall dietary supplements market? Is it a big piece of the pie?
It's actually a remarkably big piece. As of 2024, it accounted for roughly 40% of the entire dietary supplements market.
40%? Wow, that's more than vitamins.
Yeah, according to the source, it surpassed both vitamins and even weight management supplements. And that share is expected to creep up slightly, maybe to 42% by 2025.
Oh.
It just underscores how prominent it's become, driven by those aging populations, and the focus on preventative health we talked about really puts the scale into perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, so we've talked about the benefits, the growth, the trends, but it's absolutely critical. We also look at the flip side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's unpack this. While there's a lot of promise here, what are the potential risks? The side effects people really need to know about?
Yeah, and this raises an important question about using these things wisely, about informed usage. The source material does highlight some common concerns.
Like what?
Well, one of the most frequent issues is gastrointestinal discomfort, bloating, gas, diarrhea, that kind of thing.
Oh, lovely.
Right. Especially from ingredients like glucosamine and chondroitin. Some people's stomachs just don't agree with them.
Okay.
And then there's calcium. It's a staple in bone health supplements,
Mhm.
right? But high doses can actually cause problems, things like kidney stones.
Ouch.
Yeah. Or a condition called hypercalcemia. That's where your blood calcium levels get too high. And that can lead to nausea, constipation, even confusion in severe cases.
Wow, okay.
It's a really stark reminder that, more isn't always better when it comes to supplements.
Yep. That's a really vital warning. And it's not just about feeling uncomfortable, is it? There's this crucial point about talking to doctors, because these supplements can actually interfere with medication.
Absolutely critical.
The source specifically flags things like blood thinners or other drugs that affect how your body handles calcium.
Yes, those interactions can be serious.
It just hammers home the need for, like you said, informed usage
Yeah.
and moderation. You really should talk to a healthcare professional before you start adding these things into your routine. You don't want to accidentally cause a problem while trying to fix one, right?
Couldn't agree more. Essential advice.
So, looking ahead now,
Hmm.
what's fascinating here is that this market clearly isn't hitting the brakes. If anything, it seems poised for even more advancements,
That's right.
driven by what consumers want:
Yeah.
effective, natural, scientifically backed products. It feels like there's a strong push towards more specialized, targeted formulas, things designed for very specific individual needs.
Exactly. That increasing focus on personalized nutrition is a key future trend. We mentioned it earlier, but innovations in biotech are really making it possible for manufacturers to design supplements with optimized ingredient mixes
Optimized for what, specifically?
for specific concerns. Maybe cartilage regeneration for someone with osteoarthritis, or targeted inflammation reduction, or just overall bone strength tailored to someone's profile. It's really moving beyond that one-size-fits-all idea
Right.
towards something much more precise, almost, custom-made for your specific biology.
And the source actually gives a concrete example of this kind of innovation. Pharmalinea launched something called your Arthro Ease capsules
Mm-hmm.
back in April 2024.
Ah, yes, I saw that.
And it's not just another supplement off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
It's apparently clinically studied, designed specifically to help regenerate damaged cartilage and reduce pain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already shown effectiveness for people with osteoarthritis and lower back pain. It really shows that trend towards scientifically validated solutions, where the industry seems to be heading.
Definitely. It exemplifies that push. And carrying forward that other trend we discussed, the natural products, we fully expect to see botanical ingredients become even more prominent in future formulas.
So more turmeric, ginger.
Turmeric, ginger, boswellia, those kinds of ingredients known for their natural anti-inflammatory properties. They'll likely be integrated into these newer, more targeted, advanced products.
So what does this all mean? Wrapping things up.
Mhm.
We've seen this bone and joint health supplement market is growing incredibly fast,
Undeniably.
driven by, well, us becoming more aware of preventive health and just a rising demand for effective solutions, especially as, the world population gets older.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole shift towards personalized, natural, and science-backed options is really reshaping things,
Yeah.
creating lots of opportunities for growth. It's, it's a dynamic landscape, to say the least.
It really is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture one last time, it's pretty clear that as consumers, as you get more informed and look for these tailored, proven products, the industry is just going to keep innovating, probably at an even faster pace.
More sophisticated solutions coming down the pike.
Exactly, which, this raises an important question for you, the listener. In this constantly changing world of wellness, how do you evaluate all these health claims? How do you decide what's genuinely right for your body?
That is a great question to chew on, and a really critical one as we navigate our own health journeys. Whether you're looking to support an active life or just proactively manage your health as you age, understanding this evolving market is definitely key.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive today. Lots to think about.